Well, good evening, my little bowls of special fried rice. And how the devil are you? It's such a pleasure to be back with you for Monday Night Live, and it's the start of a whole new week, and it's the end of a bank holiday, and I want to hear all about it. How did you spend your Easter? Did you enjoy it? Have you had a good day today? What did you eat? What did you drink? Just anything and everything. I want to hear all of your news. Catch me up on all of the gossip, please, and don't leave any details out. I want it all. And I hope your day's been better than mine, but we'll get on to that later. So, let's begin. Well, actually, let's begin by raising a glass to, what's the toast tonight? Good chums and good times. That'll do. Cheers, my loves. Bottoms up. That's a good start. I managed to pour it down the wrong hole. Excellent. Professional broadcasting from Boaty. Oh. Well, I shouldn't be at all surprised because I've had, sorry, I've had one of those days where literally anything and everything that could go wrong has. It's been the absolute, it's been laughably unbelievable how just everything has been disastrous. Everything. And this is just one more example of that. But I'm going to whiz through the comments and I'm going to, bloody hell, talk amongst yourselves. Dear me. Don't mind me. I'll just drown in front of you all. What a way to go. Live streaming on YouTube. Oh dear. Oh. Should have stayed in bed today. I should have stayed in bed today, pulled the covers over my head and got up tomorrow. Matt, good evening to you, sir. He's given me the old thumbs up, and here's one back at you. Jimmy Quinn is with us, the lovely Jimmy, and says good evening to you. Evening all, says Trace, an all-encompassing, welcoming good evening, and good evening to you, Trace. And immediately, Trace chimes in and says, please don't forget to activate the chat on today's live stream video, because I love watching a replay with the chat running as if it was real time. Well, that's activated automatically, Trace. The reason why it's not immediately available, as it normally would be, is because when I record this here, like I'm doing now, then I'm doing it over my home Wi-Fi. So it kind of uploads at the same time, you know, the master copy or whatever you call it. Now, the live stream that we did this afternoon was on mobile data, obviously because we were in Mr. George Roger Boaty in the car yard, which means that the master video with the live stream has to upload via Wi-Fi at some point after I get home. But all of the footage that I've taken today also has to be uploaded to the cloud, which again happens automatically once my devices come within the Wi-Fi network. So it will happen automatically. I don't need to do anything, but it won't happen instantaneously, which is a splendid word, isn't it? Instantaneously. 6 syllables. 6 syllables after the day I've had. Bloody hell. I'm quite proud of myself for that one. Just try and get rid of the last of the wine from my plug hole. God above. Oh, I'll tell you all about my day, but I really want to hear about yours. I've been thinking about you all weekend. I mean, I haven't spoken to you since Thursday night, and that's an awfully long time, really, isn't it? Now, I know I did a live stream on Saturday, but I didn't read any of the comments. Probably a good job. I caught a couple out the corner of my eye, but I didn't read them because I was too busy reading from my script. But I hope you all enjoyed my bedtime story. I'm sure you did. I've had nothing but positive feedback from it. Hey all, says Stigbürt, and a very big welcome to you. General Cheeseburger is here, it wouldn't be the same without him. Black Lines is amongst us, and that is nothing less than a joy. I wonder what delights await us this evening, he asks. I'm wearing headphones for this one, and Matt suggested it might be church porn. And on the same subject, Trace says, have we all recovered from the reading of Pornhub, as offered by the very Reverend Boaty McPerv? And no, definitely not, replies Black Lines. My dog went grey. Bad Books is amongst us and says evening all. Matt says recovered. It's like Viagra on crack hearing those stories. And follows that up by saying Boaty's bedtime stories make corpses stiff. Chaz Brown is here and says good Easter. What? Oh, good Easter Monday Eve. Right, yes, and a happy Easter to all of you for whom Easter holds some importance, whether that's a religious significance or whether you just like eating your own weight in chocolate eggs. Oh, God, I'm getting better now. Blackline says, yes, far too much chocolate. I'm spoiled, but I wish they wouldn't. I can't stop eating it when it's in the house, and I'm trying to lose weight as it is. Hello, Roger Boaty is here and says, where's Skick? He paid mummy by cheque and it bounced. What? And Black Lines replies, strange that he wasn't able to swipe his card, if you know what I mean. I thought you took American Express, says Cheeseburger. Hello again, Boaty, says Trace, for the third time today. Beginning to feel like we're married. No, don't say what you're thinking. Don't say what you're thinking. I'm not reading that one, Roger Boaty. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Oh, a bad day today for Cheeseburger. Not as bad as mine. West Brom didn't play well. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but on the plus side, it's only football, and football doesn't matter. Oh, God, wait for the hate mail for that one. Well, there you go. There's a subject for discussion. Football, does it matter? Is it a real sport? Are footballers talented athletes or overpaid Nancy boys who fall over when somebody breathes on them? Your opinions, please. You can probably guess mine. We weren't allowed to play football at school. If you were caught playing football, you got caned. That's Welsh school for you. It's a shame this isn't on radio. This would win a Sony Gold Award, would this? Host chokes live for his guest amusement. Oh dear. Easter food, says Trace. Slow roast lamb, potato bake and all the veg. Sounds good. Jimmy Quinn says, yesterday was a KFC family feast. Oh, KFC. There's another subject for discussion. KFC, is it nice food or is it something that you really fancy and then regret eating immediately afterwards? when you feel the grease running down your colon. I haven't had a KFC for years and years and years. Well, ages anyway. And I remember the last time I had one, I remember thinking to myself, don't ever eat this again. And yeah, I remember in the dim and distant past, KFC was lovely. So I don't know if my palate has changed or if it's gone downhill or what. Oh dear, he's inhaling his wine now. Yes, indeed. Boaty's going to die in a life. It's going to happen, Cheeseburger, isn't it? I mean, you know, please God and touch wood, it doesn't happen tonight, because that's the sort of day I've had where I'd actually cough it, literally, live on YouTube. Tommy Cooper would be proud. Not another prang, says Trace. No, not a prang. Not that sort of, not that degree of awfulness. Just, well, I'll go through it all. Liz is here, and that's a joy and delight. Hello, Boaty. That must be some rough wine. Please don't choke live on air. It's not rough wine. This is the good stuff. This is a treat, so it's doubly annoying that I had to spit half a mouthful of this precious nectar into the sink because I was gasping for air. Pouring wine directly into your windpipe is no gift to the YouTuber. That much I can tell you. Is Boaty a corpse swap? Not yet. Not for about 5 more minutes, says Trace. Hello, Simone's here and says, boat up, lad. And I up to you, Simone. Hope you're doing okay, my lovely. Thank you, Boaty. Read the chat thingy bobby. I shall look forward to updating it. You're very welcome. No, Roger Boaty, no. Boaty was nearly in the clouds. No, Roger Boaty. I just paid my council tax, says Black Lions. Hold me. We'll hold you metaphorically in a warm, friendly embrace, Black Lions. Cloud is a stupid word for a server and a bad one at that, opines Simone. And now we have a hidden comment from Cheeseburger. Oh, well, if I read that, Cheeseburger, I'm going to have to read Roger Boaty's. Oh, look, I'll just read them and we'll get it over with. Okay, this is Roger Boaty. I felt like Mummy. Both Mustard and Boaty were right inside me, fully inside. And then Cheeseburger says Roger Boaty was double penetrated, and oh God, dear, I wish I hadn't started on this now. Back to Roger Boaty. Mustard was inside me all afternoon, but Boaty often pops out for a cigarette. Well, be grateful for small mercies. Chaz Brown says, we have Boaty withdrawal symptoms. No live stream since Thursday. Yeah, I had the same. It's a long time, isn't it? I was so tempted to, you know, I have to stop myself from doing one every night so you don't get fed up of me. Or maybe I just should and get it all out of my system. Simone says, I had my eyeballs tested today. All okie dokie. New specs are coming. Well, it can't be that okie dokie if you need specs. But I get what you mean. I do a fair amount of business with footballers, says Cheeseburger. I think they are fantastic. Well, so would I if I was getting some of their money. Another hidden comment, this time from _ Oh, and it's his opinion on footballers. Overpaid fairies playing a kid's game and a shit game at that. Simone says, KFC, Kids Fattening Centre. God, yeah, there's nothing worse. I've talked about this before. Maybe not. God almighty. My entire digestive and respiratory system is just gone into complete meltdown. I will probably explode directly in front of you at around 10 to midnight. I shouldn't wonder. I'll hold this out so that when I explode, you're spared the worst of it. Oh, God above. Oh, it's coming out of every orifice now. Excuse me. I don't know what you've done to deserve this. I'm like a baby. You know how babies kind of explode and everything just comes out of every orifice all at once? And they cry and burp and laugh and fart and shit and puke all at the same time. KFC is my fox's favourite, says Cheeseburger. KFC is just gross, says Trace. I last had a KFC in 2012. Well, that's not that long ago, 12 minutes past 8. And it's only 17 minutes past 11, so just over 3 hours ago. And that was only the popcorn chicken at 3 a.m. after a 14-hour booze sesh. Well, let's just raise our glasses to Tracy and the 14-hour booze session. That's quite impressive. Blackline says, sorry, I've just read the comment ahead. KFC Zinger Tower Burgers used to be fantastic, but I've not had any KFC or McDonald's for years, so I couldn't tell you what it's like. We appreciate that. Cheeseburger says, if you die on YouTube, think of the views. I wonder if anybody's done that. That could be a first. Yeah, if I start feeling really dodgy and get shooting pains down my left arm, then I'll just start a live and you guys dial 999. Matt, you know where I live. Tell them, don't joke about things like that. Like the day I've had it'll probably happen. No, it won't. No, it won't. No, it won't. You had to spit, asked Cheeseburger. I thought, oh God, I thought that was Roger Botty's mother. When he choked, I thought he'd blame it on the wine I got him. This isn't your wine, Matt. And yeah, I did read the comment on Mustard's post. And I will drink it very shortly. I'm exceptionally poor this week, so I'll have no choice. God knows I can't afford to buy any. Hang on, I'm just going to read this before I actually read it out. No. And no. Chaz Brown says, moving on to something a bit more broadcastable, I heard that Madonna and Richard Branson are going to team up this summer to form a new phone company for the very first time. They're going to call it Like a Virgin. Like a Virgin. Not a clue. Not a clue. Moving on. You know how babies tend to explode? Boaty 20 to 23. Now there's a t-shirt. Simon's got a voodoo doll of Boaty and he's currently coughing on it. Alan Jones is here, bringing some much needed sanity and maturity to this broadcast occasion. Good evening, Alan. Trace says, Steve Woodmore always used to say on our lives that at our ages there's a high chance one of us will die before the end of the stream. That's Christ above. There's many a true word spoken in jest, Trace, isn't there? I had a day off, says Simone, digging in the garden due to the weather. Hang on. I had a day off digging in the garden due to the weather. So did you have a day off due to the weather, or did you dig in the garden due to the weather? What's the weather been like there? And that's part of today's disaster story. It's been persisting it down here. I'm going to go through my day and you can share all of my woes. It's me, says Project Nigel. Captain Mustard is here amongst us. Oh, Leica is a phone company, apparently. So, yeah, that makes it funny. It's him, says Blacklines. Oh dear. I think Project MGTF is ill, says Blacklines. Hopefully he gets well soon. Well, yeah. We all share that hope, I'm sure. People are saying hello to Mustard, which is nice. God, just when you think you've got all the wine out of your blowhole. And Mustard is acknowledging the warm welcome from the community and has said, hello everybody, with no fewer than 5 exclamation marks and a plus sign. The plus sign presumably meaning more exclamations. Trace says, Simon is probably still sick from the Saturday story. I do hope you enjoyed the Saturday story. I thought it was a lovely, heartwarming story of a daughter repaying her mother's kindness in taking care of her as a single mum and working hard as a nurse tending to the sick. And yeah. Hang on, another Roger Boaty. Oh God. Mummy's toys plug into the mains. What? Those battery powered things? Well, let's just say they're a little underpowered, eh? I'm going to start having nightmares about Mother Roger Boaty. I really am. It's only a matter of time. It hasn't happened yet. But I just know that in unguarded moments, and especially when dementia starts to creep in, I'm going to start getting visions of Mother Roger Boaty that I'm not going to be able to expunge from my mind. Although I am still quite happy that I'm able to use words like expunge. I love the word expunge. 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 Now be honest, is that a word that you use regularly? If not, you should. It's lovely. Try it. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Expunge. Isn't that nice? It's a lovely word. Black Lion says, I started clearing loads of crap out of the garden in the hope that I could mow the lawn. As soon as I finished, it started raining and hasn't stopped. No, it hasn't stopped here either. Oh, let's talk about gardens. How is your garden progress? Have you started in the garden? Have you started any kind of spring work, anything of that nature? Now, my garden is still as nature intended. It hasn't been touched since, well, since autumn last year. But my gardeners are probably due to land pretty much any day now, I would have thought. I can never remember when they start coming again. I'll probably notice it when the money starts going out of the bank. Oh God! Do forgive me. There are the most awful things going on in my passages. And that's something you've heard your mother say, isn't it, Roger Boaty? Dear me. Skick says, I still think you have talent, Boat, and think in time the best will come out, as it has on a few occasions. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you to say so. I will work on honing my craft, as it were, and putting my YouTube videos consistently on a better level. And that's genuinely something I'm going to work on. It's all a work in progress, isn't it? Simone says, I was digging a hole for my plum tree. It's been sunny. Why did your plum tree want a hole? Or do you mean a hole for you to put your plum tree in? And if you were digging a hole to put your plum tree in, what's wrong with where your plum tree is now? Where is it? Is it like hanging out on your sofa watching the telly? Let us know. Let us know more details about your plum tree, please, Simone. And I would like to hear about your settees. Do you have a settee? Do you regularly use it? In my front parlour, which is just there, the other side of the wall behind you, I have a black leather 2-seater settee. I've had it for 8 years and I've never sat on it. Been raining all day in Great Yarmouth, says Jimmy Quinn. And it's been raining off and on here in the Midlands, says Cheeseburger. It's been absolutely howling it down, both here at Windy Bum, up at the Yard of Dreams, and at every point in between. Jimmy Quinn has got an opinion on Saturday's bedtime story, and his opinion is this, and I quote, "The story was a load of shit," and that's an honest opinion, firmly held, and I think we have to respect that. Chaz Brown says, "Now back to my normal level of jokes. I went to the zoo the other day. There was only a dog in it. It was a Shih Tzu." Cheeseburger asks, "Does Mother Roger Boaty plug into the mains?" An interesting question there. Simone says, "Roger Boaty, my brother has a jackhammer if she needs it." What? Do you mean that he's got a tool? Or do you mean that he's just a really enthusiastic potterer? Oh dear, maybe don't answer that. Skick is telling Roger Boaty that he always uses cash, so that it's highly unlikely that his cheque bounced. Oh, hello. Trace says, "Toys in the mains?" Questioning. "Hasn't Mother Roger Boaty found the USB ones?" Don't tell me there are USB toys. God, are there really? Oh, I'm so out of touch. Good God. I may have led a sheltered life, my loves, but I've never known a mains operated toy. Well, I've never had personal experience of one, and I've certainly never had personal experience of a USB one. Only the battery operated variety. Good Lord. Oh God. We're just going to have to go with it, my loves. What you are witnessing live in front of your eyes is the not unexpected after today. Complete physical falling apart and decrepitude of what started the day as a relatively complete human being. I'm just going to either explode or gradually dissolve in front of your eyes, but I'll try and keep talking while I do it. I mean, I'd hate for your comments to go unread while I expired for your viewing pleasure. Maybe wine will help. It can't hurt. Well, actually, it did hurt, didn't it? And I've still got half a bottle lodged somewhere in my windpipe. Oh dear. Oh, never mind. After 4 bottles, I'll stop caring. Bad Book says, "It's rained all morning in North Norfolk. Sunny for a few this afternoon, then heavy showers." Oh. Cheeseburger says, "Aldershot Football Club went bust in 1989. Their results were expunged from the records." And that's a wonderful, splendid use of the word expunged in a sentence. And I'm going to give you a point for that, which means that General Cheeseburger is now on top of the leaderboard with a mighty 1 point. Beat that if you can. "I have no garden," says Trace, "so I can't join in with any garden chat. Unless we mean lady gardens, in which case it's always as nature intended. TMI? Question mark. Oh, God. Oh, is that a rabbit hole that we want to go down? Do we want to discuss lady and manscaping? Do we want to tell our friends whether we are au naturel or neatly trimmed, or indeed completely, well, I don't know. I'll leave that to you. Discuss it if you wish. Pretend we haven't mentioned it if you prefer. Entirely your choice. Ali Mac Mechanical is with us and says, "Good evening, Boaty and friends." And I, for one, say good evening back to you. And I hope that you're well. Jimmy Quinn mowed the lawn last week, so he's ahead of the game. And at the time of me reading that comment out, He is the earliest lawnmower of 2023, so I'm going to give him a point, which puts him equal with whoever had the other point. Cheeseburger. So Cheeseburger and Jimmy are now joint top of the leaderboard. Oh God, a message from Roger Boaty held for no. Oh, the dogs use our settees, says Black Lions. We're not allowed on. Oh, and Simone does explain. The plum tree is in a pot from the garden centre. Oh, and Mustard says, I've just finished the Freelander, by the way. I will upload it when you've finished. Right, I might as well talk about today then. No, I won't. I'll carry on and catch up with comments because there's millions of them. This weekend, says Bad Books, mowed the lawn, had a mass weeding and pruning session. Betty the Greyhound has a 3-seater leather settee. And that is responding to 2 features in the space of 1 comment. So I'm going to give you 2 points for that, Bad Books. So you have now moved into a commanding lead. Ali McMechanical is sat on his leather couch right now. Couch. I don't know if I approve of the word couch. Couch. What do you call it? Is it a sofa, a settee, a couch? What do you call it? And when you were a kid, what did you call your living room? Living room, sitting room, front room? Oh, and when you were a kid, did your parents or your grandparents have a front room that you weren't allowed to go into except on Sundays after church and special occasions? General Cheeseburger says, I'm in the conservatory. Bloody show off. Conservatory. I'm in the conservatory, says Cheeseburger. I'm standing up because 2 cats are asleep on the settee. Well, it seems to be a common thing, isn't it? Pets taking the seats. Oh, the Whippet likes a settee as well. Oh, fucking hell, Roger Boaty. No, I'm on my settee now, says Trace. It is 27 years old, cost £50 as it was end of range, and my then fella worked for the company. I've never liked it, but it's solid and has put up with my fat bum forever. 27 years of coping with a settee that you don't even like. That's kind of sad, isn't it? Or is it tribute to a woman who understands the value of thrift? And what happened to your fella? What happened to your fella that supplied you with the bad settee? Why is he no longer your fella? Is it because he tried to do disgusting things to you on that settee? 27 years old, so, oh gosh. Have a point for having the oldest settee. You could charge your, bloody hell, you could charge your USB toy in your sofa if the sofa has a USB socket. Do sofas have USB sockets now? New ones sometimes have a USB socket. Bloody hell, I'm so behind the times. Talking of living room seating, says Simone, Georgia and I are sat on the sofa bed. She's currently washing herself. And let me remind you, for those who are not familiar with Simone's living arrangements, Georgia is Simone's, God, I've forgotten, Romanian friend who Simone is kind to and allows to use her house sometimes. Although I do find it a little bit odd that she's washing herself on your sofa. On your sofa bed, but well, each to their own, I suppose. It's been nice up here in the Highlands of Scotland, says Ali Mac. Cold wind, mind you. If you do another story, says Skick, how about the life and times of Jason, aka Boaty, and go into detail? Now that would interest me a great deal. Well, I've done some, Skick. I don't know, tell me, which bits would you like to know about? And I'll tell you right here and now. ask me a question about what I was doing at any point in my life and I will very gladly answer it. I mean, I'm very old, I've lived a long life, so asking me to just do the life and times is a bit too vague. But if you narrow it down and ask about something specific, I'll gladly tell you all about it. Yeah, exactly, Black Lines, I'm not going there. I don't do garden work, says Ali Mac. I've got stone chips front and back. Betty lays full length and fills a 3-seater. Okay. Okay, now I'm sneezing. Of course I am. I mean, why wouldn't I be? Everything else has happened, hasn't it? No doubt I'll follow through next. Oh, God. I've got a feeling that today is not a day where I should be bloody live streaming. I've gone all lightheaded now with those sneezes. Oh, God, it's blurred my vision and everything. More wine will help. Ask Aubrey. He's still not going to pick you. I hate that. Right, I've got some Twitter accounts and I keep getting notifications of things that somebody thinks that I might like on Twitter, and I don't like any of them, and I don't want to see any of them, and I don't know how to stop them being part of my life, but I wish they weren't part of my life. I mowed my lawn last week too, says Simone. Well done you, have a point. I'm sitting on my 3-seater sofa now, and my wife's got the 2-seater sofa, and that's from Jimmy Quinn. Oh, God, hold on. Oh, dear God. This is just absolute, total and complete physical collapse. Right, the show must go on. Liz says today is Monday. Thanks for that, Liz. And will be brought to you by the word expunged. I love the word expunged. It's a wonderful word. Ali Mac says, same here, Jimmy Quinn. My wife is sat on the 2-seater and I'm sat on the 3-seater. Well, there's a bit of misogyny going on here. Why is the wife kind of chucked onto the small one? Is it because the wife is smaller? Or is it her choice? Or are you just men saying, right, I am the man, I wear the trousers in this household, and I will have the big settee. Now, when I was married, I never wanted the big settee. One of the things that we had an argument over was when we had the living room remodeled, my wife went out and bought 2 3-seater settees that cost about 10 grand. And I hated them. I didn't like them. And I thought that having 2 3-seater settees in the living room made the place look like a doctor's waiting room. But what I was most annoyed about was when I was married, I wanted a man chair. You know, like your dad had. My dad had one. I think everybody's dad had one. A dad's chair that was dad's chair. Nobody else could sit on it because it was dad's chair. And it doesn't matter what kind of chair it was, but it was dad's chair, you know? And because I was a husband and a stepdad who tried his absolute best to be the best stepdad in the world, I wanted reward for that. And I wanted my own dad chair. And I was really annoyed about that, perhaps unreasonably. I was annoyed that Mags went out and bought these settees without consulting me in any way, shape or form. You know, do you like these, darling? What do you think of these? No, she just went and bought them and they were duly and to my surprise delivered. And the fact that I didn't get a dad chair, I was annoyed about that. And to her credit, when we were going through the divorce, but before I actually moved out of the marital home, lastborn set up house with her then partner, young Bob Up and Down. And when they set up house, young Bob Up and Down got himself a dad chair, a man chair, with the full complicity of lastborn. And Maggie started crying and said, I never let you have a dad chair, did I? And no, you bloody didn't, Mags, and you should have. And I'm glad that you cried. I'm glad you felt bad about it. Not that she would watch this, of course. God, that would be weird. How weird would it be if my exes started watching my live streams? That would be very weird. They could come on to chat and start telling you all sorts of true things about me that I haven't told you and that I might not want you to know. Ooh, there's a thought. That kind of happened. After the divorce, Maggie's idea was that we should get divorced, we should have a divorce settlement where she had everything, and then we should carry on a relationship and maybe at some point again get married, but with a prenup, so I couldn't get any of my shit back. And we had a go at doing that. And that meant that after doing the Facebook split thing after the divorce, we became Facebook friends again. And she got to read all of the things that I'd been saying during the early days of our post-divorce relationship attempt. And she started commenting on them all, telling people the truth, which would have been embarrassing, except that I'm not really capable of being embarrassed. So I just responded to it, yeah, I was lying, she's telling the truth. Or not lying, but I perhaps wasn't telling the complete story or telling it with a particular slant. Just little things really, like, you know, I'd say that, and there was a point where I didn't tell anybody who she was. I just said that I was dating somebody. And I didn't let on that I was actually dating my ex-wife. And I would just say things like, took her out for a really expensive meal, cost me a fortune, we had an argument and didn't even eat it or something like that. And she would add in the little thing that it didn't cost you a fortune because you paid with a voucher that you were given by whoever it was that gave me that voucher. And stuff like that. Anyway, I digress. 4 weeks ago, says Jimmy Quinn, I put a new roof on the garden shed. 3 points for that. Settee, living room or front room, says Chaz Brown. Always been known as a couch up here, says Ali Mack. I've never used the word couch and I never would. For some reason I thought it was American. General Cheeseburger asks, does Mother Roger Boaty have a leather couch? Spillages are easier to deal with. Yes, well, let's not go then. Trace says, as a kid, we had a front room and back room. Front room was special occasions and family visiting only. Then my dad took the middle doors out and it all became the lounge. Lounge. Again, that sits badly with me. Lounge. My cat has taken over my water bottles under a pillow, says Steakold. Ah, this is interesting. Trace says, my ex-fella bought me a tumble dryer as a gift. So that was it for me. Well, is it me or is that a bit harsh? Did you need a tumble dryer? Is it something that you needed or wanted? Were you in a parlous state, as you are now, of not having a garden to hang out your wet laundry? So could not a tumble dryer have been a useful thing? Was your ex-fellow in fact being thoughtful? Okay, there's a feature. In your view, what is the worst gift you've ever been given by somebody close to you? My sofa is around 38, says Matt. I don't hate this sofa, says Trace. It has served me very well. It's just the material isn't to my liking and the colour isn't blue enough. Okay. My fox is here, says Cheeseburger. Pork pie for him tonight. Oh, and Simone just says Georgia, who you'll remember is her Romanian friend, is my kitty cat. Lol. And that's quite sweet, referring to your best friend as your kitty cat. Do you have a pet name for your best friends? That's really quite sweet. I don't own a tumble, so I don't need a dryer. Hello. And Trey says, and yes, this sofa has seen much action. And she wiggles her eyebrows. Sofa action, eh? Can't do that when you've got kids, can you? In fact, it's difficult to get away with doing anything when you've got kids. When you've got kids, the best sex aid that you could wish for is Vaseline. You don't apply it to your partner, you apply it to the bedroom door so the bloody kids can't open it. I will tell you a true story about my childhood. Bear with me. With everything that's going on with my digestive and respiratory system, I am somewhat lightheaded. I need to restore my equilibrium. Now then, do you remember, baby, last September, how you... No, not that, but lovely song. Do you remember when digital watches were a really cool thing to have? And there'd be like 1 or 2 people in your school who had a digital watch. And that was like, wow. Have you heard? Chris Mills has got a digital watch. Maybe one that when you pressed a button on it, it illuminated. How cool would that be? Anyway, I remember... I remember those days very well. And I remember the day when Chris Mills came to school and he did have a digital watch. And I said, Chris Mills was my best friend. And you know that I'm telling the truth because he has been here on these live streams. He lives in Australia now. But when we were at school together, he didn't live in Australia because it would have been too far for him to come to school in Redditch. And he came to school wearing a digital watch. And I said, it's not your birthday. It's not Christmas. How did you get that? And he said, well, he might not have said well, but the way that I'm retelling the story, I'm not going to be able to repeat this story exactly word for word, all right? Because it's like 40 odd years ago and I just can't remember. So you're going to have to be okay with me just paraphrasing a bit, all right? Now, the story is true. The words might not be exactly as they happened, but I guarantee you will get the gist of it, okay? So just bear with me. Well, said Chris Mills when I asked him how he managed to get his paws on a digital watch. The first person in our year to have a digital watch. How cool was he? He was very cool. So I said, how did you get it? And he said, well, for the 3rd time. He actually said, well, 3 times. Not like, well, but he said, well. And then I started talking about something different. And then he said, well. And then I got up and walked over there. And then he said, well, for a 3rd time. And it wouldn't surprise me if he said, well, yet once more. So let's see, shall we? So I asked Chris, how did you get hold of the watch? And he said, well, told you he would. That's 4. Have a point. I can't give Chris a point. He's not listening, I don't think. I'll have his point. So that puts me on the leaderboard, doesn't it? Well, said Chris for the 5th time. What it was, I was going upstairs to my bedroom, and I heard noises, strange noises coming from my mum and dad's room. And I went in to see what was happening, and they were in bed, and dad was sort of on top of mum, and they kind of shouted at me to get out. And so I went into my bedroom, and a few minutes later my dad came in all red-faced, wearing his dressing gown, and he said, look son, you don't need to tell anybody about what just happened, all right? So just forget all about it, and I'll buy you a present. What would you like? And he said, well, I would like a digital watch. So about an hour later, dad got dressed. We went to the Kingfisher Centre in Redditch, went to H. Samuel's, and dad bought me this digital watch. And that's how I got it. And I thought, nice, nice. Well, two can play at that game, and it occurred to me that I had heard noises coming from my parents' bedroom. So I hatched a cunning plan, my lovelies, and I think you can guess what it is. And sure enough, not too long after that, I heard noises coming from my parents' bedroom, and I think I knew what was going on. So I burst into my parents' bedroom. Sure enough, they were at it. My dad was on top of mum, giving her plenty. And I did the full Rita Hayworth. I went, oh my God! Oh my God! And ran off into my bedroom, slamming the door behind me. And sure enough, a couple of minutes later, dad, red-faced, wearing a dressing gown, came into my bedroom and said, now, look, son, you don't need to tell anybody about what you've just seen there. And so keep your mouth shut and I'll buy you a present. I'll give you something. What would you really like? And I said, I want a watch. He said, oh, okay, well, let's go back in and I'll carry on. Grab a seat, enjoy it. And there we are. That's a story from my childhood there. Now let's carry on with some comments. Where did we get to? Oh yeah, Trace getting some action on the sofa. Dad called Grand Special Occasion front room the museum. Yeah, totally get that. Don't freeze your wine, says Trace. I'm on the good wine, so it's in the fridge. It'll be back to crap wine soon, and that will be in the freezer, but not tonight, Trace. Don't forget to like. Hay fever, Boaty, says Bad Books. I'm just having a crap day. I'm just having a disastrous day where everything's happening. Can all of my past naughty step discretions ever be expunged, says Matt. Yeah, absolutely they can be expunged. It's just you keep replacing them with new ones. I don't harp on about the old ones. They're in the past, they're forgotten about. It's just you keep bringing along new ones and you keep descending into an even deeper pit of true awfulness. You really do excel yourself sometimes. That wine tried to kill you, Boaty, says Simone. It bloody did. And at £7.50 a bottle as well. Although I did get 25% off for the 6 bottles or more, as I told you I was going to. I told you I was going to do it, and I did. And I've got, oh, this is my last night. This is my last night of the posh wine, my loves. Might be posh wine tomorrow, because I'll start drinking Matt's wine tomorrow. And then it'll be crap, like back to the crap by about Thursday, if I can afford to buy the crap. Anyway, cheers. Ali McMechanical says, I grew up in a 5-bedroom bungalow. We didn't have a front room, we had a living room and a kitchen diner. Now, I think we had a sitting room when I was a kid. And we did have a kitchen diner, but we didn't call it that, we just called it a kitchen. I grew up in a 3-bed terrace, says Black Lines. We spent most of our days in the back kitchen / dining room in case the provy wife, who's the provy wife? In case the provy wife came round peeking through the sitting room window for her money. Oh, is that Provident? Was that Provident, the doorstep loans? Provy wife. Tonight's stream, says Trace, is sponsored by Kleenex, Rennie, Tenor Pants and Andrex. Not far from the truth. I have the same thing with Twitter, notifications about stuff I couldn't give a shit about, says Mustard. And how do you get them to stop? I wish I could do it. I should just leave Twitter, I never use it. Ali Mac Mechanical says the wife is smaller than me and that's why she's on the two-seater. Air ambulance for Boaty, says Jimmy Quinn. Mrs. Cheeseburger, says General Cheeseburger, chose the most uncomfortable sofa known to man. So she sits in the front room and I tend to take the conservatory. 10 grand for a settee, asked Black Lines. It was 10 grand for 2 settees. There were 2 brown leather settees, absolutely identical. And Mrs. Boaty, again against my wishes, remodelled the the living room, whatever you want to call it. So she had the big radiator completely taken out. She had that wall replaced by sliding French windows. She had wooden flooring put in. What else did she do? God, I can't remember everything else, but it ended up as a kind of what to me seemed like a shell of a room with big French windows and full-length curtains all the way down that side. And then, the fireplace went and was replaced with, the fireplace went and was replaced with, I think it was like a fake fireplace and, a posh fake fire kind of thing, which was posher than the old wooden mantelpiece thing and the gas fire thing. And then she bought these obscenely expensive settees. So you've got the room like that, and then you've got one settee here, one settee there, all wooden floored and just bare painted walls, and it just all seemed a bit stark to me. I think she thought so too eventually, and she dressed it with candles everywhere and some art on the walls in the end. But it was never to my taste. I was never comfortable in it. And that was one of the problems. I never felt comfortable in my own home. Now, the one thing I did do, where I put my foot down with a firm hand, was when we spent a lot of money on the house. I don't know, we spent about 80 grand. And I had the double garage bricked up at the front with windows and a door put in, and I turned it into a man cave, and I kind of lived in there. I had my own kitchen. I think I've spoken about my man cave before, Boaty's Hub as it was known. I had it was a fully equipped workshop because at the time I was building bikes, so it was a fully equipped workshop, but it was big enough that it was also just a man space with a fruit machine and telly and stereo system and DVDs, fridge, freezer, wine cooler, kitchen, you name it, it was there. And I just hung out there because I didn't like anything in the house. None of it was done to my taste and I didn't feel comfortable in it. Bob Up and Down. Yeah, I can't remember his actual name, Cheeseburger. No, I can't remember his name. I think his name was Jason, which is my name. So to differentiate, I called him Bob. And then everybody called him Bob. And Bob was a bit incomplete, so I gave him a surname as well, Up and Down. So his name was always Bob Up and Down. He was a lovely lad, actually, a really nice lad. I went through that father type thing. I'm sure any of you who've got daughters of a dating age will have been through it. The unsuitable boyfriend. It's a nightmare when they have and they all have at least one Some of them have more than one, and some of them marry them and have an unsuitable husband. And it's awful. You've got this absolute heaving, shitting arse of a man that you have to welcome into your home and treat with kindness and courtesy and respect, when what you actually want to do is put your hand firmly around their throat and choke the living daylights out of them. And don't make the mistake I made. They will split up with the unsuitable boyfriend, right? But don't pay any attention to it. I made the mistake with the firstborn. Firstborn had a horribly unsuitable boyfriend. Horribly unsuitable. And when they split up, I told her exactly what I thought of him. And then I went out of my way to tell him exactly what I thought of him as well. And then, of course, they got back together, didn't they? How awkward was that? So, always ignore the first split up from the unsuitable boyfriend, because they'll get back together. And hold off saying what you really thought until they split up for the second time. Then you can go for it. Hello, Pingu Concord is with us. Good evening, hello, Boaty. Can you remember what happened on your 12th birthday? No, Pingu. Pingu Concord, Pingu Concord, Pingu Concord's pottering pants. No, I can't remember what happened on my 12th birthday. If I had to guess, I would imagine that I totally ignored it, went to school if it was a school day, and then trained, or just went out training if it wasn't a school day. Because when I was 12, I was full-time training when I was 12. So either just training or school and training it would have been, I imagine. One thing about exes that I hate, says Black Lines, is that I never see them anymore. I wish I'd maintained friendships with some of them, even though the relationship was crap. Others, not so much. I hear you. I would like to be friends with all of my exes. I would like to be better friends than I am now. I've kind of been friends at points, and God, let's think about it. Well, Maggie and I were, after we were divorced, we rekindled a relationship for a fair while. So obviously we were friends, but when I finished the post-divorce relationship, the friendship kind of disappeared, and she doesn't hate me or anything, but she doesn't want to be friends with me. She just wanted to finally draw the line and move on. So we don't talk, which is a shame. We spent a big chunk of life together. I do care about her. Others. Well, Chinese madam absolutely won't speak to me. She's so angry, and probably always will be. Boo and I have been chatting by messenger recently over the last couple of weeks, but and she said that she hoped there would be a friendship when I ended the relationship, but she's gone into her own little world, and she's kind of she just works and stays at home, and that's it. And she said that the extent of our friendship will be messages via messenger, or possibly at some point a phone call, although she's not keen on using the phone. So yeah, that's a shame. I'd love a friendship there, and I'd love to see Jess. Being friends with Boo might mean that I could get to see Jess, and I bitterly regret that I'm not allowed to see Jess. Sasha and I, we kind of became friends. We were Facebook friends. Sasha came to my mum's funeral with her husband. and she sent me I think I told you at the time, unexpectedly I got a friend request from her a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I didn't realise we'd stopped being Facebook friends. But obviously we had, and I accepted it, but we haven't spoken. And that's about it. I don't have any contact with any of the others, and I wish I did. I'd love to know how Lisa's doing now. I'd love to know how Zoodle Twix is getting on. All of them, really. I paid £80, says Stigbürt, for a leather British racing green 3-piece suite worth 2,000 quid. Bargain. Well, it bloody is. It just cost me 1,200 quid, says Jimmy Quinn, to get my leather sofas recoloured. Skick says, this is interesting. I would like to hear about your happy times, because when I was at the top and had everything going for me, I always thought there was something missing. That's really interesting, and I would like to talk about that in depth, but now probably isn't the time to do it. I'd like to do that at the beginning of a stream so that we could all chat about it, and it's gone midnight now. I'm probably about to die of something or other. You guys are probably getting tired. Skip, do me a favour. Remind me that you asked that, please. And tomorrow night, I'll bring it up right at the beginning of the stream and we can talk about it properly. Because I've got loads of comments to catch up on. But I would like to talk about that because, yeah, I really would like to talk about that because I completely understand where you're coming from. And when I was what would probably considered at the top, I was very driven, and I was chasing something, I think. Now, I really need to talk about this in depth because I need to get my own head around it, and I'll only do that by talking about it. But I completely get where you're coming from. And in terms of the happiest times, then quite honestly, I would say that the happiest time of my life is today and tomorrow and the day after. But there are lots of reasons for that, and that would be a great subject to talk about. Remind me, Skip, we'll do that one tomorrow. It's a brilliant subject for discussion. Hold fire on that one, everybody. Don't comment on that, or not in depth anyway, and we'll go into that one properly tomorrow. We'll have a bit of a heart-to-heart tomorrow, shall we? After a good old catch-up tonight, tomorrow we'll have oh, hang on. Oh, it's Tuesday, isn't it, tomorrow? Might be Wednesday, because I don't know who else is streaming tomorrow. If Simon and Mustard do theirs, and it ends up being a midnight job, we probably won't have time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, see how it goes. But either way, remind me. I'm lucky enough to have my dad's old chair, says Bad Books. Name me allowed to sit in it. That's brilliant, actually. We did create America, Boaty, says Ali Mack. Oh, well, that's controversial. What about the what about the Native Americans who? Yeah, okay, we might have gone over and stuck a flag in it like we did in bloody India, but we didn't create it. It was already there. We just did the typical British thing of going over there, sticking a flag in it and saying, well, this is ours now, and you all belong to us. Get to work, you Indian or American people. Yeah, because we were bastards, basically. I mean, you can talk about the glory days of the British Empire. We were bastards and wouldn't get away with it now. My sofa has seen no action, says Simone. Oh, sorry to hear that. You should christen your sofa. I'm sure Mother Roger Boaty has got a contact, somebody local that we could send round for pottering duty. The tumble dryer, says Trace. He bought it for me so I could dry his shirts. He bought stuff for the home in lieu of rent, stroke his share of the bills anyway. So this wasn't a gift at all. He seemed so smug about it. Well, what a bastard. Watches. We were in awe of people with Swatch watches. I don't remember being particularly impressed by Swatch watches. I remember those Sinclair digital watches with red LED displays. I remember the red LED displays. You press the button and they displayed for about 8 seconds. How about the calculator with a red LED display? I don't remember that, Cheeseburger. In my mind, the calculator watches, which I think were Casios, not Sinclairs, they had a green but backlit display. Timex Indiglows were the ones to have, says Black Lines. Sinclair calculators, remember them too? I don't remember any of these Sinclair things. The only Sinclair things I remember were the ZX81, the Spectrum and the C5. Me and my wife, says Jimmy Quinn, don't give one another presents. If we want something, we can afford to buy it. Fair enough. How many wells make a river, asks Annie Mac. That joke, Boaty, is older than me, says Jimmy Quinn. Yeah, but some of the youngsters might not remember it. Cheeseburger says, H. Samuels is still in the Kingfisher Centre. And then goes on to say, Roger Boaty has many digital watches. Oh dear. Tracy is not impressed by the watch joke. Simone says, bedtime, good night all. If I sneeze, I do at least 10, says Bad Books. It's very annoying. Then we're all saying good night to Simone. Oh, my wine, says Matt. Interested to know what he thinks of the latest wine. It's from a shop he doesn't frequent. Well, I'll let you know. I'm drinking free beer, says Cheeseburger. My daughter bought me 3 bottles after I spent 150 quid on a new car battery for her. It wasn't that free. No, it bloody wasn't, was it? Provident, Enid she was called. I still remember running in from playing outside to tell me mum to turn the lights off. Bloody hell. Turn all notifications off, says Annie Mac. Easy, solves the Twitter problem. I don't know how to. Aldi's supermarket have got a very good wine selection. They sell Chateauneuf du Pape, says Jimmy Quinn. Bloody hell. When you said the gallows was bricked up, I thought you were going to say Mrs. Boaty was bricked up in a new wall. No. Good evening, England, says Stephen Paul. I am in you, virtually. Good evening, Steve Nesball. If my daughter brings home a Villa fan, says Cheeseburger, she's moving out. I wish I was a parent, says Stephen S. Paul, so I could kill someone in a situation similar to this. Boaty, do all of your exes live in Texas? None of them live in Texas. One of them lives in Illinois. None of them live in Texas unless they've moved. Right, Boaty and everyone in chat, says Ali Mac, better head off to bed, working in the morning. Good night, Ali Mac. My daughter, says Trace, had a nice boyfriend who she split with when she was about 19, and then spent a decade having a string of terrible, scrounging, lazy, abusive, lying boyfriends. Oh, but it ends well. She's now with a lovely gem. That's nice. Right, people are saying good night. Hang on, a hidden comment from Jimmy Quinn. Boaty, daughter's boyfriend. You just whisper in their ear, if you hurt my daughter, I'll break your legs. And it helps having a 6'2" son built like a brick shithouse. Yeah, I kind of did that with one of them. And it didn't go well. I can't remember exactly what it was, but basically I shoved him up against a wall when we were on our own. And I said, if you ever hurt my daughter or make her cry or make her in any way unhappy, I will cut you. And he started crying and wanted to leave the house. And yeah. Anyway, Mustard's off to bed and says good night. I think it's probably time we all say good night, isn't it? Everybody's buggering off. Oh no, hang on. Nigel, Mustard says, no, I'm saying goodnight to those going. I'm hanging on until he gets to the point. What is the point? I've forgotten. I'd call it quits, Mustard says Cheeseburger. Oh God. Friends Lounge. Friends had lounge, remodelled, expensive everything. Clever ass guest got pissed, slipped off the revolving armchair, dropped a glass of red wine, covering the carpet, walls and chairs. Embarrassing. Oh dear. Oh, Matt says conspiracy theory. Skick is one of Boaty's exes. God, that would be so funny if one of my exes was here under a nom de plume. I'd quite like that. Black Lines is off. Oh, why did you have such a bad day today, Boaty asked Liz. And Trace says, oh yeah, Liz, Boaty, why was your day bad? Get him on point, says Bad Books. We all need to shut up or he'll be here all night. Right, I'll tell you about my day. And then, I'll tell you what, we'll bugger off at midnight. That'll be 90 minutes. That's enough for anybody, isn't it? Especially as we've got tomorrow to go. All right, my day. My day started well. Last night, I fully prepared everything. Wetleg was ready to go. I prepared the computer. I prepared the P-scan. I prepared everything I needed to cook lunch in Mr. George Roger Boaty on the top of Blackstone Edge. Literally did everything. I woke up this morning at the time I wanted to wake up. I felt absolutely great. I was in plenty of time, so I was able to, you know, relatively chill out. I had some random baked beans left over from a lunch. So I upgraded my one slice of toast breakfast to one slice of toast with a spoonful of baked beans. And that was very nice. I enjoyed that. Oops, very much. Now, the weather was a bit pants. So I made a last minute decision that I wouldn't take Wetleg, I would take Boo instead. So, I put all of the things in Boo, and, you know, round and about the correct time, just 10 minutes later than expected, I set off. And I love driving Boo, right? Boo is just my favourite car. And I was having a great time driving. I was filming, I was doing commentary, which you will see in due course. And the rain just became biblical. And I mean biblical. And then, completely out of the blue, and I don't know why, Boo's sunroof started leaking. And I was suddenly sitting in a small but noticeable shower. So that wasn't great, but I didn't let it ruin the journey. Hold on. No, I didn't say 1 a.m. After 12:30. I promise you, you can all go at 12:30. I do love being inside Boo. I do. I genuinely do. Both Boos. God, I did love being inside. Oh, dear me. Have I ever told you the story about the one and only time I tried Viagra? Have I ever told you that? I can't remember if I have or not. I probably have. God knows I've told you everything else. I'm not exactly discreet, am I? Blocked drain holes on the sunroof. That's Jesus getting his own back for Saturday night. Oh God, you could be right. I don't know. Don't, says Mustard. Don't what? Oh, don't tell the story about the one and only time I took Viagra, do you mean? I'm not making that mistake again. Bloody hell. Oh dear. Oh, I have told you. Bad books. Good, I don't need to do that again. Is it blocked drain holes on the sunroof? Possibly, Cheeseburger. I know nothing about it. So if anybody knows anything about how to rectify this, please let me know, because it's very disquieting. I have already told that story. Good, yeah. Okay, I won't tell it to you again, don't you worry. So, but that didn't entirely ruin the journey, I have to say. I took it in my stride, and I had a lovely drive, actually. I really enjoyed the journey today, much more. Trace says, husband tried Viagra. All that happened was the whites of his eyes went so red he looked like Dracula, and he had a splitting headache for hours, so he wasn't in the mood and didn't look attractive. If you want too much information from Boaty, gift him an item he can possibly wear for pottering. I'm going to update you on that, Matt. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. That'll be tomorrow, all things being equal. So that'll be something for Wednesday night's live stream. Oh dear. That's a bit of a little private joke in between Matt and I. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, right, today. So I got to the yard, and it's just absolutely hoofing it down, and it's bloody cold, and Mustard and I rapidly came to the conclusion that we were not going to be able to do what we had planned, which was, of course, to take George Roger Boaty to the top of Blackstone Edge and make lunch. I mean, it was just horrendous. The rain was nothing short of biblical. No, he didn't, Cheeseburger. Yeah, so, you know, we rapidly decided that it just wasn't going to happen. That, and we looked at the weather forecast, and it was going to be raining. I mean, a little bit of rain, fine, but I mean, this was just nonsensical, and it was so cold. So, you know, we decided that, okay, so we're not going to get the video out tonight. Shit happens. We're not going to get the video done today, I mean. Another hidden comment. Hold on. Is that all it does over there is fucking rain? No wonder the suicide rate is off the charts. Oh dear. Oh, make lunch. I seriously heard make love. Was that a Freudian slip? We've been watching too long. Yeah, you probably have. Right, so we decided that we weren't going to be able to take the caravan up to Blackstone Edge and make sweet love after lunch, or possibly before lunch, work up an appetite. Do you prefer pottering pre or post lunch? Pre, I suppose, is probably healthier on the digestive system, isn't it? Anyway, the point was, oh, hang on. Right, yes. Yes, I am still banging on. And we've got 4 minutes for me to tell you pre-lunch work up an appetite. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Healthier. So we decided that the day in terms of making a mustard and Boaty video was going to be a write-off. So we decided we can still have lunch in Roger Boaty. I can get a lunch video out of it. We can, as I'm in unexpectedly in Boo. Oh, unexpectedly in Boo. Happy memories. That we decided that Mustard could do a test drive and review, and of course I had taken the P scan. Taken the P scan, so that we could program some remotes for various cars. So the day wasn't going to be a total write-off. So the first serious thing that we did was set to work with the P-Scan. Now, my little Sony Vio computer, little notebook computer that I paid £2 for all those years ago, it's the best computer I've ever owned. It's never turned a hair. And I did everything to it last night. It was fully charged this morning, fully working. I didn't close it down. I just put it on standby and took it with me, just ready to rock straight up. And I don't know what I did to it, but that computer would not turn on. And it wanted to go through some incredible repair process because it hadn't been shut down properly. I've got no idea what happened. This is the only computer I've ever, it's really old. I mean, I don't know how old it is. It's like 15 years old, something like that. When I bought it brand new, and it was running the just released Windows Vista Business thing, because it's like a business all singing, all dancing computer, laptop, notebook thing. And it's just brilliant. You start it up, and it's not like one of these knackered old Windows laptops. You start it up, and 5 seconds, boom, you're ready to go. It's amazing. Right, yeah. So, and it just wouldn't start up, and it went through a repair process that took ages, and we're sitting there freezing our fucking tits off in the pouring rain in Rhiannon for ages and ages and ages, and it just won't spark up. And that just wasted so long, and we were cold and miserable and wet, and then eventually it sparked up. But at some point it had done a system restore in these, and it had lost the driver for the P-Scan, and it had gone back to, I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know exactly what happened, but I installed P-Scan in a particular in its own sub-sector thing on the C drive. And it was all in a different place. It was all on the desktop and in the wrong place. And we ploughed on, and to cut a long story short, it didn't work. Now, bear in mind that I've programmed a fob on the Freelander, and obviously P-Scan works. Lots of people have got one, everybody knows it works. I've used it successfully without a problem on Boo. Boo has got a new key fob now. And it just wasn't working, and I've got no idea what the problem was. And it was wet, cold, miserable, and we're in no mood to bugger about. So to this day, to this moment, I've got no idea yeah, he was dragged in with underscore. So I've got no idea what I did wrong, whether it's a problem with the computer or it can't be a problem with P-Scan, and it just would not program a new fob, and I don't know why. I don't know whether I was just doing something wrong, using it wrongly, and you know, by this stage I'm annoyed about the sunroof leaking, and I'm worried about that because I'm worried that the car's going to turn into a swimming pool while it's parked up there at the yard. I'm annoyed about the computer going tits up. I'm annoyed that we're not getting the video done. And, you know, I just didn't need any of that. And I couldn't get it to work. So I've brought a key fob with me. If you remember from a live stream the other night, I've got it here somewhere. Or have I? What did I do with that? Oh, Christ, I probably lost that now as well, haven't I? Where did I put that? You see, this is the sort of day I'm having. Oh, there's my front door keys, that's something. Oh, did I put it in my thing? Well, where did I put my thing? That's gone now as well. Oh, there's one. Oh, God. Right, everything's gone tits up. I don't know where everything is, but somewhere I've got a key fob. And tomorrow, when I'm more relaxed and have time and know what I'm doing, I'm going to yeah, it is old. So tomorrow I'm going to try and program either the MGF or maybe Shison, so I can figure out where I was going wrong with trying to code it for Nigel. Either my computer either I need to reinstall pscan on the computer and do it correctly because it's system restored to where I installed it wrongly the first time before I did it right the second time or something like that. Or I'm just using it wrongly because I was all in a bit of a tizzy. So I'll figure that out tomorrow so that next time I can actually program Nigel and whichever other ones. So yeah, that'll be that. And then what else went wrong today? Well, that was it really, and then it was just more of the same. That was all disastrous. Lunch was nice. We had a nice lunch. What is this? Hang on. I've only been around since Boaty posted that video where he picked up and drove a Rover back home. Well, which one? I've done that with a few. Make it 1:30. Oh, we've passed 12:30. We have a bit. I'm hopefully getting up to short. Right, okay. What is this pscan? Oh, well, it's a diagnostics tool, Skip, but one that is specifically only for the Rover group, MG, Rover, Land Rover. It's a home version of the full that has got nearly all of the capacity of the full T4 system, which is what all Rover Group dealers had, and it controls every aspect of any car within the Rover Group. Right, yeah. So yeah, so I'll do that tomorrow and I'll get that sorted. The rest of the day, lunch was nice. We had a nice lunch and we did the live stream and we did the test drive and review on the Freelander, which will be going up on Mustard's channel, either already up there now or will be up when I bugger off in 2 minutes time. And then driving home, the sunroof. Yeah, oh, and then I was feeling okay, better then. I was cold, I was a bit cold, a bit miserable. It was just a washout and a bit of a disappointment of a day, but it was still a day with my mate Mustard, and we always have fun. And by the time I got back in the car to drive home, even though it had still been raining, the sunroof was dry and the roof lining was dry. So I thought, oh, that's good. It was just like a one-off. But then when I was driving home again and I went through an absolute downpour, it started leaking again. So yeah, I need to look at that myself. Well, I was going to say get somebody else to look at it. I can't do that because I'd have to pay them. So yeah, that's something I need to look at, and that kind of spoilt the drive home a little bit. And I never enjoy driving home as much as I enjoy driving there because it's dark and you haven't got quite the sense of excitement that you had. But it's not been the worst day. It's just been, you know, a little bit that everything I or we set out to do kind of didn't happen. But it wasn't totally unproductive. And, you know, a lot of it was jolly enjoyable. So thinking about it now, at home in my nice warm home with supper to look forward to and chatting with my friends here, it wasn't that bad a day at all, but it felt like it at the time. It was like going back a month. I didn't take a coat because we haven't needed a coat, and it was so cold in the yard today. Thankfully, I was able to cook in the caravan and I kept the cooker turned on. But it was back to that thing where wet, windswept. Right. I feel we're more, oh hang on, oh that's nice. Strange how life goes, says Matt. I've only been watching for a few months, yet I've received a lovely welcome and feel I've been accepted into a community. But that raises a question, what the fuck is wrong with you perverts and weirdos? And Cheeseburger says, Matt, you're as mad as the rest of it. I love this community. I love this community that's come together. I think it's wonderful and it means the absolute world to me. Trace says, oh Matt, you were dragged in with Boaty's _ sex voice and you cannot leave now. Quite right. Listening while going to sleep, says Steve Cole. Good night and all my love. Good night to you, sir. Oh, and then Black Lion said he's only been around since the one where I picked up and drove a Rover back home, which wasn't that long ago, actually. Oh, Oldport Heights, I misread that. Talking about the P-Scan. I started watching the vid, says Trace, after Boaty appeared on the Woody Show back in June last year. God, was it in June? I knew Boaty from eBay, so we moved in the same circles, but not friends like now. In fact, I feel we're all more of a community since these lives started, because we talk regularly in the week, not just commenting on the vids. I forget which one it was, a gold one. No, not a gold one, all of my cars are silver. Jimmy Quinn says, clean the seal with WD-40 around the sunroof. Right, I'll try that. Oh, a Rover 25 GSI, I found the video, says Black Lines. Oh, well, that was Brian Johnston. The Project Nigel spelling mistake. And I must say, at the time I did that, I thought that was the best video I'd done. I still like that video now. I think I called it a taxi, a train and 2 trams, or something like that. But yeah, I thought that was a really good video, and I'm very, very fond of Brian, and you know, oh, I'll talk about that another time. But we are working towards a repair on that. What about fitting a fun style aerial to the Freelander? I wouldn't mind putting one on Streetwise or maybe a stubby aerial. Well, the problem I've got with fitting an aerial to the Freelander is that the previous stub of aerial is still stuck in there and I need to find a way to get it out or replace the aerial base. And yeah, the ways I found so far, you can drill a hole and put in one of those left-handed screw things that Simon had spoken about, except I haven't got a drill and I haven't got a left-handed screw thing. Or somebody else said on a YouTube video I watched, you use a left thread drill bit and just going increasingly bigger. Start with a teeny tiny one and then go increasingly bigger, and one of them will eventually spin it out. But again, I haven't got a drill and I haven't got any left-handed drill bits. So I've just got nothing at the moment. I apologise for ignoring your comment. I don't remember seeing it. Silicon spray is good for rejuvenating rubber seals, says Bad Books. I'll try that. I'll try anything. Mustard, have a word with the wife to see if you can get away in the caravan for a few days. Not happening. Oh, fin style, not fun style. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I need to put silicone all around the sunroof, says Cheeseburger. And it has to be said, don't freeze the wine. And I've caught up in the comments. I'm not freezing the wine because it's not in the freezer. I've got the nice wine. Oh, I do recommend this wine if you like a nice dry white. It's a very good Pinot Grigio, is that? Very smooth. It's £7.50 from Sainsbury's. I wouldn't be able to afford it normally, but I bought it when it was buy 6 and get 25% off, which brings it down to the low £5, which is just about within budget. Although my normal nightly wine is £4.50. So that brings us up to date, my loves. I'm going to bid you all a loving good night. Oh, another Twitter thing, I don't want to see that. Bloody hell. First video I saw was Annie Ford, says Jimmy Quinn. Christ, that's going way back. That was before Rovers, when I still had Fords. And before I knew how to make a video. The only thing I knew how to do was to join still photos together. I hadn't worked out how to actually make a moving film yet. Oh, Annie Ford. Looks like Austrian antifreeze. Charming. So, there we are, my loves. Get that ready? Yeah, there we are. So, thank you so much for your company tonight. That will be all for now. You will be free to go in just 1 minute's time. Thank you so much for, oh, it was shit, says Jimmy Quinn. Yeah, it absolutely was. All of my early videos were shit. Some of them still are, but my earliest ones were particularly shit. Thanks, Boaty, great fun. Good night all. Yeah, say your good nights. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. It means the world. It's been a wonderful end to what felt like a bad day at times, but looking back, it was rather a lovely day. I never have a bad day with mustard. It's not really possible. And today was imperfect, but we made the best of it. 70. I'm not going till 1 o'clock. I'm going now, and I am now going to play you out. Here we go. There we go, darlings. Put a roof tent on it. That would work, wouldn't it? I have been watching videos of roof tents, and Furious Driving Matt was on about he bought his for like 100 and something quid or something like that. So I had a quick look. Christ, they're all about 1,000 quid. Dear me. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Look, guys, thank you so much. You sleep well. Stay safe and warm. Stay dry. Have a fabulous day tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow night. I can't tell you when. It depends on other live streams. And I don't know who's doing what and when. But I guarantee you, I will see you at some point. So, yeah, that's it. Good night. Thank you. Ugh. Bloody choking again. Forgotten what I was going to say. Felt as if I was going to say something tremendously important and pivotal and witty and insightful, and it turns out it wasn't at all. It was probably just wind. Okay, darlings, bye-bye. See you tomorrow. Oh, no, that's not working. Oh, there we are.